lot different than my usual YouTube videos. I wanted to explain why my single Waste My Time did not come out today, which has a lot to do with just my life story in general. So I think it's time that I kind of sit down and just make one of these videos where I tell y'all my life story, and yeah, it has to do a lot with the reasoning of why my song did not come out. So here we go. My parents never really had a good relationship. They were married, but they never had a good relationship. I didn't really know my father growing up. He traveled a lot for business, so it was mainly just me, my mom, and my brother. And my mom put me into dance classes when I was 2. I've always been into the arts. My whole family knew, like, since I was 2 that I was gonna be an entertainer. My dad was traveling a lot, so he actually has never seen me perform as a singer. He came into a couple dance recitals, but he was never really involved in any of that stuff. But it was, I think around the age of like 12, I was going to acting classes, and every single acting class or every single seminar or dance class I went to, everyone was telling me I needed to go to LA for pilot season, which, if y'all don't know what pilot season is, it is a 6-month period at like the beginning of the year where there's just a bunch of auditions in LA and opportunities. And that's where everyone out of state just goes and lives in LA for like a 6-month period. So everyone was telling me, Tori, you need to go to pilot season. Oh my gosh, it'd be so good for you. Like, if you really want to take this seriously, that's what you need to do. So my mom just kept hearing about this, and eventually I convinced her to figure it out, you know what I mean? And it's a big step to make, because you can't just pick up all your stuff and like go to LA for 6 months. So it took a lot of figuring out, and I remember asking my dad, and it was an interesting time in my life because my mom had pretty much filed for divorce at that point. Like, the marriage was pretty much over, so it was a really hard time to kind of decide to move to LA, but it was actually really good for my mom because she kind of needed to be out of the house as well. Things were changing anyways. So I remember sitting down and asking my dad, I want to go do this in LA, can I go to pilot season? And he looked at me and my mom and said, if your mom stays married to me, you can move to LA for 6 months. But if she decides to go through with this divorce, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make you stay here in Texas and not do anything with your career. Which was like kind of the first moment I realized, like, what? Like, I was just so confused. My dad had never really said that to me before. You're not used to that as, because you know, in like all the movies and things like that, all the dads, and you hope that your parents are both supportive of you, but that was kind of the first moment where I was like, wait, what do you mean? Like, I can't, that's the explanation you're giving me? That's the response you're giving me? But my mom was like, all right, if this is what we're gonna do, I will stay married to him, we can figure this out. And so my mom and I moved out together to LA for 6 months, and I actually booked a job with Osmus TV. I don't know if you've seen the OMG episodes where that's how I met Sierra and Lofton and a lot of my friends that I still have to this day. And when I was on set with them, I was out here for 6 months. I was on set with them. It just got so hard, even for me, for my mom to be married to my dad. It was just unbearable, the things we were going through. We couldn't deal with it anymore, so we took the risk, and my mom went through with the divorce, and he followed through with his promise he told me before I came out to LA. I had to quit OMG, which was so hard to do because I loved that cast, and there were so many exciting things that were still gonna happen with that. And I moved back to Texas, and I lived with him all of that summer and kind of really realized who he was. And I had hoped he'd have changed, but he didn't. So I lived with him, and we went to court. And I don't know if y'all saw my post, but on my Instagram I opened up a little bit about just the court system and my dad getting full custody of me and all of that. I already started kind of opening up about that. I talked to the judge, and they asked me who would I want to live with, and I told them my mom, because I don't really know my dad, and I've kind of already been living with him, and he doesn't support me in my goals. And I was like, and I want to be with my parent. Like, I know my mom. My mom is literally my best friend. They told me that they felt like for me to make this decision, I needed to know who my dad was. So, for whatever reason, the courts decided to give my father full custody of me. I lived with him for 3 years. It was honestly, the best way to put it, a living hell. He is not a good human. He's a narcissist, if any of y'all know what that is. I was in therapy twice a week for 3 hours. One session a week was with my therapist, and then the other session was another 3 hours, where it was an hour by myself and 2 hours with my dad, as they tried to teach my father how to be a parent and for us to communicate together, because it was horrible. It was just me and him living and trying to figure this out, and it was the worst situation for 3 years. He has even admitted in therapy that he took his anger from the divorce out on me. And I'm not specifically really ready to open up about details about that yet. Hopefully I will be able to eventually in life, because I think that's good for me, is to talk about it. But all I want to say is CPS was involved, and police were called a lot, and that's all I'm gonna say about that for now. It was the worst situation. I was not able to put out music, write music, take as many classes as I wanted to, do the things that I usually was able to do for a whole 3 years, which is why I took a complete break from the industry. It was not my choice, it was my father's. And I didn't get to see my mom often, or my puppy, Lala. So I was just with him, and when I turned 16, I worked really hard to get my license, and I drove away from home, ran away from home, and at that point my mom, she lived in Texas for a short period of time when I was living with him, when we were going through courts and everything, but she moved back to LA because of her life. She had started a life in LA, so she moved back to LA. So she was maintaining a place in Dallas and LA, and she always told me that she was preparing a life for me to go live with her once I was able to. This is a lot. Emotions. So when I turned 16, I got in my car and I drove to school, and I decided to never go back. And one day at school, my dad actually had cops come and escort me out of school and bring me back to where he was. It was the most embarrassing thing ever, because I didn't really talk about it. None of my friends really knew what was going on in my life. So that was a lot. And then the second I was there again and he left the house for a little bit, I kind of figured out how to get out, and so I ran away again with no car. I just ran as fast as I could away. This is a lot harder than I thought it'd be, y'all. I don't think I've actually sat down and like talked about this. Y'all are my therapist. It's a good time to do this though. I kind of needed to do this, I feel like. Oh, I ran away, I got away, and my mom was already in LA, so I just joined her in LA, and I got to do what I loved again. And I was free for a little while. I filed for emancipation, and it felt good. It was a year and a half, I think, of being back out here. I saw Sierra, I saw a bunch of people that I had already met, and they were super excited that I was back and doing music again, and it was exciting for me. And then I auditioned for The Voice. I know, shocker, I auditioned for The Voice, y'all don't know this. I auditioned for The Voice in March, and I made it, which was super exciting at the time. And when they were giving me like the paperwork to actually go and film on the show and to air the blind auditions, they needed both signatures from both parents, my mom and my dad, and I was like, I can't get the signature from my dad, but here's my emancipation. I got emancipated, and they were like, this is not, I didn't complete it, but my emancipation was never signed by a judge, so it wasn't official. So I had not talked to him in a year and a half, and because I was like, you know what, maybe this will happen for me. It'll probably be a fight. I knew it was going to be a fight, but I was like, I feel like this is really cool and it's a great opportunity to be part of The Voice. As y'all know, I've had a lot of people that were on that shows, and it was super cool to watch them succeed and watch where they've grown. So I was like, I want to do that, you know what I mean? So I emailed him and I asked him if he would please sign these papers, and that I had the opportunity to be on The Voice, and to just please not try to fight with me, not try to argue, not try and threaten me, and just freaking sign the papers. And I went on Facebook, which was my other resource to contact him, to try to get him to sign these papers, and I realized he has had a long-term girlfriend. He emailed me back and told me and gave me threats of how dare I go on social media and threaten his girlfriend and threaten him, and that I needed to apologize to her. I've never met this woman in my life. I just friend requested her. So I just apologized, gave him what he wanted, apologized through Facebook Messenger. And he still wouldn't sign the contract and gave me so many more hoops to jump through. So at that point I kind of realized that opportunity, that door closed. The Voice closed for me. I was trying to take it in a positive note, but obviously it was still hard. But literally a week later, Sony SM1 contacted my management and wanted to sign me. And I was like, oh my god, like, the universe, thank you. That was very exciting, and it was just like hope again. And as y'all have seen the Instagram posts, I signed with them. I signed the contract, my mom signed the contract, and I was excited, so I posted about it. That's what you do on social media when big things happen. You post about them. Not even thinking about the fact that I had reached out to my dad and he would be looking at my page. He sent me more emails now regarding my contract with Sony SM1, telling me that he was going to contact them and that I had no legal authority or power to sign that contract, and that he had to look over it and sign it, and just threats on what he was going to say to them, and just, it was just a lot. And I wanted to put out Waste My Time in June, and that did not happen because of all the legal things that were happening. So Sony SM1 politely released me from the contract. They didn't want me to be part of the whole legal mess that my father was creating. So I respected that, and I appreciated them just letting me go. And so I kind of decided that I wanted to Waste My Time out, and the music I put out, I didn't want anyone else to be legally attached to it, because I didn't want them, if there is a legal battle that would happen with my father like he's been threatening, I didn't want anyone else to have to deal with that. So I decided to release Waste My Time and new music before I'm 18 as an independent artist. And I just found out this morning that there is some legal trouble that was along with the Waste My Time release, but that should be cleared up any moment. So I'm waiting for the email saying that Waste My Time is up and that all of us can stream and jam and dance to it. But that's my situation. And on the bright side, I'm 18 in 3 months, which is very, very exciting for me. I'm glad I came on here and kind of opened up to y'all about what's been going on for the past 5 years. If any of y'all are dealing with a abusive or controlling parent, or a similar situation like I'm going through, I am so sorry you have to deal with that. I understand what you're going through, and I hope you know that you're not alone. I am not alone in this whole situation. I have my mom, I have my friends. I think that's why I've kept my head above water for so long. I'm so sorry from the bottom of my heart. I didn't want to cry. That there has been no new music, and that I haven't been able to share everything that I've been doing, or if y'all have felt like I haven't been sharing what's been going on in my life. That was not my intention at all. I'm a really ugly crier. This does not look good on camera. Oh my god. This is a really different video from Tori KTV's. I'm sorry. I make jokes when I'm upset. So yeah, I think that's the video. I'm sorry for wasting my time not coming out. My team is working like freaking mad people right now trying to figure out legal things so that my song can come out and I can come out with an EP at the end of the year and have new music and my music video, and so I can get to do what I love. But it's not sad because at the end of the day, I'll be 18 in 3 months and I won't have to deal with this anymore, hopefully. So that's the end of this video. Happy Friday. It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Alright, I love y'all. I will keep y'all updated on when Waste My Time comes out. Thank you so much for hearing me and letting me share my story, and for believing in me and loving me and being a part of this journey with me.